Alright, last time you were here, we got a new thicker paper. We covered it with crayon. We glued our vase to the back. We painted over the crayon with black paint. Here are your next steps. We're going to cut our vase out. Cut along the outside edge of your line. Take your time. As you cut, it's much easier to turn your paper than to try and turn your scissors. So keep that in mind as you take your time, do your best work. I'm going to cut around the outside edge of my vase. Outside edge. Having some focus issues. That's better. Sometimes whenever you're cutting something out of a large piece of paper, it's easier to cut away your scraps. That way you have less to try and deal with, less to cope with as you're cutting. If I were to leave that big piece there, I would have a lot of stuff to keep track of as I cut this last little bit. If I cut it away, I don't even have to worry about it. Remember, we're taking our time. We're cutting along the outside edge of the lines of our vase. If there's paint on this side, that's okay, because this isn't the side that our art is going to go on. Our art is going to go on that back side, the side that we painted in black. And I'll show you in just a moment. Alright, I've cut my vase out of my great, awesome scratch art paper. I might want to keep my extra scraps just to make sure I have something to practice on. You're going to have a little stick. This stick is made out of very hard wood. When we use these little sticks in art, they're called styluses. Kind of like a stylus with a rubber tip to use on an iPad. Those are styluses. A stylus to go with like a Nintendo DS, you know, the little stylus? Stylus. That's what we call this tool. And with your stylus, you will be able to scratch through the black paint so that your beautiful color shines through. If we take our vase and flip him over, oh, that's a pretty nice vase. We're going to be adding decorative elements or motifs to our vase. We can add motifs, and we can also add details like where the handles meet the side of our vase. We could add details like this bottom part. It's all entirely up to you. If you're scratching and it isn't quite working, try holding your stylus a different way. Remember, if we hold things at an angle and we're pressing down really hard, chances are whatever we're using might break. If you need to press down hard, hold it straight up and down so you can apply a lot of pressure without compromising the integrity of your stylus. I'm going to add some more details down here in the bottom. Greeks. Think back to when we learned a little bit about Greek art. Their art had pictures of gods and goddesses, mythology. They had pictures of religious rituals and celebrations. Pictures of war, because taking over areas was a big important thing back then. Pictures of everyday life. You can choose to either keep your vase just with designs, geometric designs, or you can include pictures of people. If you're not confident in your ability to draw people, I would advise that you just stick with these easy designs. Whatever you decide to do, we're going to be filling this entire vase. Not the entire thing. We're going to have something going on everywhere. Something. Not just something. Something that looks good. That looks like a decent start. Oh yeah, that's a really decent start. What else am I going to add? Let me see. I think for me, it would be helpful if I made some stripes to give myself some areas to put some of these different patterns. That might be a good idea for some of you. For some of you, maybe not. Maybe you have a completely different idea that you want to try. Either way, scratch art can be a really, really fun process. Take your time with it. Make it look as good as you can. Oh, if you come to an area like I just did, where it doesn't scratch all the way through your paint, that's an area that wasn't covered dark enough with crayon. If your crayon isn't thick enough, when you go to scratch away the black paint, instead of scratching away, it'll stick to that white paper. That's why it was such an important thing to take your time with your crayon, make it nice, heavy, and dark.
This holiday season, make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy Note 8 50.
I'm going to keep working. I'll show you guys a picture of my finished one at the end.